something else like electric kettle or something is, or your toaster, anything is broken, a washing machine, most people would throw it away and buy a new one, because the cost of repairing it is more than the cost of buying it. So that's how people think that way. But we in Oxford are trying to change that, and we have been doing that for the past 25 years. So I will bring up my presentation. I'm not very good with technology, so you got to bear me, young folk. Okay, so I will bring that up. Now I need to share it first. Share screen. And here we go. Share. And I would do a slideshow that will make it start from the first slide. Okay. So this is the mission of my charity that I have been involved. It was established over 25 years ago by a couple of university people. They were looking at this in the college, that they had this lawnmower and other gardening equipment, and it was being thrown into a tip, and somebody was going to take it and put it in the skip, and it would go for the landfill side. So these two people, one is from Fiji, this person, and the other one from America. These two people, Brian and 𝗤𝗃𝗀𝗃, they got together and they formed Orinoco. Orinoco name comes from a TV series which was called 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, and in that the 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, they pick up rubbish and they build a house with the rubbish and reuse the material. So this is what exactly we are, and we don't want to sound boring, so we say our mission is to banish boredom and save the planet using creativity and play to inspire the reuse of materials. So this is what we do. It's an independent charity, and something I'm very proud of. One of our first managers who revived the whole organization after 15 years, Howie, he came up with this idea from Germany about soap shops. So we started soap shop 12 years ago, and it has happened every month apart from since last year because of the COVID pandemic, and once because of heavy snow, and it was deemed unsafe to do that. So the concept of soap shop is that the store is next to a community center, so we have access to the big hall. So the second Saturday of every month, people can bring what they don't want, anything, even if it's not in pairs, like clothes, household items, cooking things, books, toys, children's clothes, gardening equipment, or any electrical items. They bring it and we sort it out and we put it in on different tables, and then people can come and take whatever they like. So there's no money. Only thing we do is we have a cafe to raise enough money to be able to do the things we want to, and that is the only thing. So the cafe sells sandwiches and samosas and tea and coffee and cakes, fruit, drinks, that. So in that sub shop, we almost shift about 800 to 1,000 kilos of material that would have gone in waste or in a landfill site. This is the waste management strategy. That is what every county, every shire in UK, and I'm sure in other parts of the world, other countries, they're using it, and it's called responsible waste management hierarchy. I'm sure you would have seen this diagram. So the top ones are the ones that are more favorable ones, or we preferred ones. As you go down, that's the least preferred one. So in terms of Orinoco, we do this top three things. We reduce, reuse, recycle. So that's what we are all about. So reduce, reuse, 3 R's. So what are we? We have lots of stuff in our store, which are given to us. Nothing is bought. That's the concept of the store. We do not buy anything. We get given by companies, individuals, and it's a place for, if you don't want to be a member, you don't have to be a member. If you're a member, then it's a very small fee, which will get you reductions in things, and you get a letter, every newsletter, and you get discounts on items that we have. And it's catered to everybody: families, young people, teachers, professionals, artists, architects, students, because they don't have to go and buy expensive stuff. They can come to us and get stuff from us, or anybody who wants to redecorate their home. So it's for everybody. It serves the community as a whole. So how do we get our stuff? So our organization, we collect good quality stuff from commercial and domestic companies and objects that they no longer needed. For example, we have a press, 𝗥𝗲𝗄𝗧 press, and other printing presses, where they have books, and the books are like dummy books, which is like dummy books are there to show the publishers what kind of what size book you want, and what thickness you would like. So those have nothing in them. They're empty blank books. That means people can make their own diary or own scrapbook, whatever they want to. And books they would normally throw away from the library to make room for new books. So we get all those books, and then we do a book sale, and people can come and buy it for a donation. Or we get, there's a company in Oxford called Cochrans. They make parachutes and they make kites. So whatever leftover material that is there, odd bits of material, threads, strings, all that kind of stuff that they don't want it would normally go to a landfill site, so they give it to us. Paint, good quality paint, Farrow and Ball and ICI paints, Dulux, all those, and some companies who do upholstery for making sofas and chairs. They leftover material. Oxford University gives us stationery or boxes, or the library, whatever they don't need it, and it's in large quantity and it can be reused, then we have it. We take it and we go and collect it, or they come and bring it, because in a advanced society like UK or Western Europe, it's cheaper for them to give it to us than to get companies that dispose of your material, and you have to pay them to take the material. Unlike in India, you can sell cloth, old kitchen items, and old shoes. Somebody comes and takes it, and so India has got a very good recycling concept, where individuals get paid, whereas here we don't get paid for recycling. So we have to find a way of doing it. And also private people, individuals, somebody want to give away wool, fabric, knitting needles, or embroidery stuff, whatever. So we have these kind of things like tiles, wallpaper, tools, screwdrivers, spades, hoes, whatever. And if we get old tools that we collect from every city, sorry to stop here, just to add a new concept. Every city has got a recycling center where when you have lots of stuff that you can't throw away, you have to take it to that recycling place. It's called recycling, where it's got stuff for which has to go for landfill. And so you have to sort your stuff out, like old television, old fridges, you have to take it there, which is easier. So from there, what the people who work there, like in Oxford, they collect all the garden tools and keep them separately, and we go and take them. And they also collect paint, and then we bring those, and then we kind of sort them out, and the tools get reconditioned. Somebody has got who will come and repair all the tools, and we resell them. So these are some of the things that are on the slide here. You can see we also sell new paint for school projects, and these are the other things like paint brushes that have been used before, so they have been um, cleaned and resold. And the tools, some little tools you can see in there on the top left, they're reconditioned. And you, on the top right, there's a box. You've got a lot of plastic things that offcuts that can be used for art projects. And in the middle, you got different kinds of wool. It's not a very big store, but this is what the store plan is. We we draw all these, and we try to every now and then trying to change our display and see what we can put in. So we got a sorting table, we got plumbing stuff on one side, we have tiles on one side, outside shed. So this is how a small plan is. On the left is a van which says Orinoco Scrap Store. That van was donated to us by the food bank, and so we use that to collect. Thus, on the right with the big bag is our present manager, James, and on the right hand side, that's this swap shop. You can see that people are browsing, children can come, some people on the far right buying food, and the right hand side, the tables are there for people to. It's towards the end of the swap shop, that's why there are fewer people. Otherwise, when we start at 11 o'clock, there are at least about 40, 50 people waiting to go in. You can see in the background, you have a lot of DVDs and CDs, and we created a big display with that. And in the background, it says create, what is that? It says creative arts and reuse and all that. And this is one of our old managers who created this display and is showing off what material we were given that time. There are some students who have collected some stuff for their projects. There's another one, and we get old tubes and all that, and people can use to make projects. And on the right, these are some of our volunteers trying to put up a shed outside to house all the DIY stuff in there. And at the bottom right, these are the tiles given to us. These are small amount. Actually, we get more than that. This is after we have cleared it a bit. When we go out, we do outreach. In the summer, we have play days, Orinoco. So we have volunteers, and there's one sculptor guy who has been doing for us for past 10 years. He takes the van, one of the vans on the right, red one, and he takes all the rubbish, like old boxes and cardboard and paint and all that, and it's free play. Children come and do all they're welcome to make things with it. This is like a windmill, and they have created it just free play activity. It's very important for Orinoco that children are creative and not directed. It's better to ask them to imagine things, and creativity is one of the ways you can improve their imagination, because these days a lot of children just stay at home, look at the screen, play on the computers or on the phones. This is what we don't want them to do, so we want them to be out and playing. So every summer, because of the type of weather we have, every summer from say June, July, August, we'll do 12 or 13 play days on the weekends, and we have specially qualified staff for that. This is something we started, and this is a catwalk, and we did fashion show. We call it refashion. So lots of organizations, schools were asked to come. This was 3 years ago. We did. We had to pick up old dresses and redesign them, and then we did a catwalk, which was very successful. Those are some of the people who joined us there. So it's just somebody who has done redone the top for that. This is how we raise funds. Like I said to you about books, so we do a book sale, and on the right, I organize a fundraising dinner to raise funds so that we can insure ourselves. We are able to buy insurance for the van and the driver, and insure everybody, pay electricity bill, pay our rent to the community center, and we also have to buy public liability insurance in case somebody gets hurt. Then we don't get sued. And these are other similar projects we have in Oxford. Wood recycling. So if somebody is getting rid of wood, they can go to this big store warehouse and buy wood and reuse it. Share Oxford is an interesting concept. It started 3 years ago by one of the secretaries of Orinoco. He started this, and this library of things is called Share Oxford. And what they do is they have a big room, and they have items that normally you don't use it all the time, like carpet cleaner, big long uh, ladder, or stuff like a projector, screen, big rug, which people normally wouldn't have it, and they only need it for just 1 day or 2 days for their purpose. So they can go and borrow it for a small amount, and then after they've used it, you return it. So we have small radios, we have tents, we have sleeping bags. So you name it, it's got all sorts of things. I'll give the websites to your sir, and he can pass it on to you. Then there's Oxford Hub, which is an organization where all of us, like Orinoco, Share Oxford, and other like-minded organizations, we are all part of it. So we know what each one is doing so that we don't duplicate each other. And there is a new thing that came up about 3 years ago called Makespace, which is uh, there are a lot of abandoned buildings or university buildings which are not in use. So what this organization does is get people to come and use as community spaces. So individual people, they can have their own pottery studio, or they have a music studio, recording studio, um, sewing and sewing service where they can teach people how to sew, or provide sewing services for resizing and remaking things. So they are professional seamstresses in there, and they have other art related activities, individuals who can rent a space for a small amount of money. There's a cycle cafe where you can go and rent a bicycle, or you can go and get your cycles repaired, or you can go there and there'll be somebody who can help you to repair your bike, so you learn something. So it's all up to you, and it's all these places are run by lots and lots of volunteers. They would have one manager or one manager and one or two um, people who work in there who are paid, but the rest of them are um, volunteers, and they give their time for the community. And then we have community centers, so everybody is interconnected with that. On the left is a new project we started last year in January before the lockdown. So we have boxes in local county libraries in Oxford. Oxford City, even though it's got only 57,000 people, but it's like from north to south, it's about 5.5 miles long, east to west the same. But we have about 6 libraries in the whole city. So we put boxes in these places, and people were able to bring their broken electronic goods, and they were left in there. And we started collecting once a week, go around the libraries, pick it up. And then we had some volunteers and individuals who are training to be electricians. They would repair those, and then we would sell it for a small amount. And and we are hoping that we will start back with the play days again when hopefully the whole pandemic session is all is over. But we we're not sure what's going to happen in UK because we are still in lockdown, and only on the 12th of this month, some shops, non-essential shops will open, but still we cannot have big parties or anything. So, but we can meet outside, maybe up to 12 people, 13 people. So we have to see. But this is our plan for play days. So the play association will get in touch with us and say, okay, there we go. We're going to go and start. I think I'll stop here. I would like people to ask me questions. Dr. Ravan? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insight. Now I would like to request the participants to turn on their mic and ask questions, or they can even write the questions in the chat box.
Hello everyone, my name is Pratyus and I'm a student member of Harithkram. Ma'am, you mentioned about this cycle cafe in one of the projects of yours in Oxford. Can you tell us something more about it? Cycle cafe.
Okay. Cycle cafe, yeah. It was established with a little bit of fund from the city council. Oxford is a small place, and we cycle mostly everywhere because parking is very expensive, and people are encouraged to cycle. So I cycle to my college when I go to work every day, and my family does too. And they have they have a hub near the railway station where you can either buy a second-hand bicycle. You can take your bike. If it has got any issues, they repair it for you. And if you want to repair it yourself, you can go there and there'll be somebody who can show you what to do. So this is to encourage people. And also the other services, those who can't cycle, they also teach them to cycle. They give you live lessons for it. So it's up to you, and it's open every day from 9 to 5. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that answers my question. Also, like we have heard that Amsterdam is one of the cycle capital, like the capital of cycling and all. So is there any such thing even in the UK for only the cyclist or something?
Pardon, I didn't understand your question.
Yeah, so I said Amsterdam is known as the cycling city of the world.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So is there any such arrangements by the government in UK as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. In some cities like Birmingham, big cities, and in London, you can also use an app, and you can pick up a bike anywhere you want, and then you can use it and then put it back. So that kind of initiatives are there in quite a few cities, and they've also put lots of cycle lanes now because we have had serious accidents on the road where cyclists have been hit by a bus or a car or by a person who has never been to Oxford and didn't realize that there are more cyclists. So, we have cycle lanes, and we have pedestrianized areas where only people can walk or cycle. So there are some, but compared to Amsterdam, we are nowhere there. We want to be there. That's our aim in Oxford.
Yeah, even in India, there's one company named Yulu. So that is like offering an electric bike, like it is an electric cycle, and so
Yes.
you can book it through app and just like pick it from one station and you can drop it somewhere else as well. So
that's a good idea.
yeah,
But Delhi is so dangerous. People don't drive safely. I feel worried about cyclists in Delhi.
yeah, that's true. Thank you for the answer.
You're welcome.
We have a question in the chat box. So she's saying it's a great initiative, and are these products sold back like the electric items?
Yes, the electric items that we repair, we people are most welcome to come and buy it, and we only like ask for £4, £5, small amounts, not large amounts for that.
Okay, ma'am. And another question we have from Prasanna Bushi, ma'am. Young children are the most enthusiastic and impressionable tribe of volunteers and participants. They also learn about materials and judicious use, which is important for their future. Do you have any observations on children? I ask because I'm wondering if you would have any insights on how to bring them on board.
Oh yeah, there are lots of things like we Orinoco believes in free play. That means you have to give children some room for imagination. And the modern world, especially here, we helicopter mothers. Have you heard of that term, helicopter parents? That means they chalk their whole day, every day that they need to be doing. So they don't have enough time to get bored and to be creative. So Orinoco is a great place, and people come with children, especially before the holidays or during the holidays, and they come and pick up all this scrap and then create things. So we need to create an environment where children can do things like that. When we were children, maybe Dr. Raman, he'll remember that we used to have on Children's Day, there'd be a big painting competition near India Gate. So families would bring children for big painting competitions, which I don't think it happens now. But yes, of course, you just have to have enthusiasm. So our volunteers, um, from different parts, like I go and volunteer. I'm not a child oriented trained play worker or anything, but I have an idea of how to reuse material and what to do. So we create these workshops for children to come and do it, and they're so enthusiastic. And you can take a CD or a DVD disc and turn it into a clock. You can get a little the what you call battery bit, and then you can get the needles from somewhere else, and then you put them together and you create a clock. So creating things from something is always a part of this. Young people like you'll have to start it in India. Maybe you can start in college, a small selection, and then you can go ahead and do something with it, because it has to come from you, and there are lots of ideas. I'll go and get something, just a second. I'll go and get something to show you.
That's so cute.
I have something here. This is a old bit of cardboard, wood, thin wood, and you can see that these are cut out from egg trays, and inside they got painted, and inside you put buttons in there, and then we got some little strings and made it into a flower thing. And this is what my son made it for me for Mother's Day. You see, so it's all used from recycled stuff.
That's really nice to see.
Does that answer the question?
Can you hear me? Yes. It did. And in fact, because a lot of times these initiatives are aimed at grown-ups, and the kids who should actually be looking at these things.
Sorry, I couldn't hear it. Just a minute.
No, it did answer the question very much, because it's very important to get the students. Hello.
Yes.
Okay, she has some network problem. She was saying that you answered her question
I've
and it
got
was nice.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't hear properly. Just let me connect and see. Hi.
Can you
Dora,
hear us?
Prasanna did say that you answered her question,
I have. Okay, good.
but her voice was not very clear.
Is it clear now?
Yeah, no, your voice is clear. Her voice,
Yes.
because of her internet connection, may be a little.
Yes.
But she said that it did answer her question.
Oh, good. Okay.
Then we have a comment from Dr. 𝗘𝗿𝗍𝗃 Rana. He's
Oh,
saying
lovely
it
to
was
hear him.
a very precise interpretation. I feel connected to pristine nature, great lecture, and it was impressive, he's saying.
Thank you.
Dr.
Thank you.
𝗘𝗿𝗍𝗃, can I have you on the mic? Can you just speak on?
Yes, Dr. Raman, it's really great that you organized the lecture. I'm so impressed. I'm listening so carefully, and I found perfect precision in lecture, connectivity, grassroots connect, and the young generation need to be connected. It was really wonderful. I really enjoyed listening Dora after a long day.
Thank you.
So good evening, Dr. Jora. After a long gap, though informally we are connected, but today we are on a platform. That's really great. Thank you, Dr. Raman. You gave me a great surprise. Thank you.
You are.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Over to you, Analia.
And ma'am, we again have a comment from 𝗦𝘃𝗲𝗄𝗧. She's saying sustainability is the need of the hour. You are doing great job, Dr. Jenkinson. Congratulations to you and your team. So she's
Thank
again
you.
congratulating you.
Thank you.
And do we have any other questions, audience?
Mary is my little sister. You guys can, I suggest, yeah.
One question that with the success of Orinoco in Oxfordshire, are you is there a plan to expand its vision, having more of its units in other parts in UK?
We already have other parts. There are other scrap stores like in Exeter, Swindon, Bath. So every city has got a scrap store now.
Is it same
Similar concept, but different ways of funding, and there might be a bit of a varied service as well. It might be attached to the county council, or it could be attached to another agency like Unwrap, which is people are trying to buy food and other items which are packed with fewer things. So I buy all my vegetables that are not wrapped in plastic.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are, so like if you want to buy rice, you can go to a place where you can buy it by kilo, like we normally do in India. So they're coming back to that. So there are some organizers. So there are, what I'll do is send you a link of all these agencies, and the students can have a look around and see what they can find, and learn more about this kind of activity that helps to. The main aim of Orinoco is to reduce landfill, so that things don't go in the landfill.
I think that's something which is very important here in this country also, because some of the metros are now searching for areas, because the landfills are wherever they could identify that completely gone beyond their capacity, and then you are searching for new landfill areas.
Yes,
that's becoming a difficult terrain.
Absolutely. And the other concept is to prolong the life of a product.
Yeah, that's more important. That's true.
Yes, and reuse material. So, upcycle your clothes, design it in a different way. I have been doing that for the past 15 years, whether people liked it or not. Like in Britain, we are all very much into it. And there is another organization I forgot to say is Oxford Free Cycle. It's a website where 3 or 4 people, they run this website. So every region, every um, shire has got one recycling thing. So it encompasses one, like Oxfordshire is one administrative unit. So we have this website. On the website, people will advertise, offer clothes for children 10 to 12 years old, or offer a radio, offer a television, or offer a sofa or a bed that people want to get rid of and they don't want to give it to a charity shop, so they want to give it to somebody who needs it. And then there are people who would write in, wanted a universal TV remote, or wanted a table, or wanted books for children, wanted shoes for children. And then we are all members of it. You don't have to pay to be a member. You just become a member by signing in, and then you contact the person, whichever thing you want, and whoever is the first person to ask for it, you say, could I have this? They'll say, yes, you can. And then you arrange between yourself when you go and collect it. So I got 2 tables for my son's school. I got a brand new car seat for my son because he's grown bigger. He's 7, so he can't use this small child seat. And I advertised that I have clothes for 5 to 6-year-old children. So somebody came 3 days ago and took a big bag of clothes for the children and shoes. So we generally don't go and buy lots of new clothes as well. So people share clothes because clothes are very expensive here, and especially the winter coats are really, really expensive for a child. The shoes are more expensive than anything else. The shoes will cost like 30-40 pounds for a child. So people give away shoes. Like I give away my son's shoes and clothes to younger children, and I also give away clothes. And in the swap shop, people swap clothes as well, you see. So it's a whole circular economy where things are not being thrown away and things are being given to people who really need it. That's why people ask for it. So maybe you guys can start something on a website, like I've got a pair of trousers, or I've got these university books, or somebody wants to get it, can they come and take it? And you arrange it in such a place. Like Delhi is big, so you'll have to do it like 𝗥𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃 area, so small administrative units, and then you can run that thing. It's great.
Great suggestion. Over to Analia.
Ma'am, Prasanna Bushi ma'am has said that on that note, it might be a wonderful concept and template that can be spread around the world. And then we also have a question from 𝗧𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗀𝗃, one of our student member of the Harithkram team. I request 𝗧𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗀𝗃 to ask the question. Over to 𝗧𝗵𝗺𝗃.
First of all, very good evening, ma'am, and to all the faculty members and my fellow mates at Harithkram. Ma'am, my question to you is, ma'am, what is the current status quo of the UK government in particular in terms of sustainability measures, and especially in terms of the sectors of recycling and reusing, and the kind of support it lends to the charitable organizations?
These initiatives are mostly done by local council. So each local county council or each administrative unit has got their own project. This government, I don't know how much you know about the politics here. Pretty much the main political parties are not very green in terms of what they do and in terms of their agenda. So the Green Party is the main one that goes, but the local governments are more powerful in that sense that they can drive local initiatives for environmental sustainability. But more and more people are going for it. There are some funding projects where people can go for it for doing sustainability projects, but it's all driven from the county or small units upwards.
Thank you, ma'am. It
You're
was
welcome.
truly enriching to know about all the wonderful work 𝗤𝗏𝗃𝗀 is doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So do we have any other question or anyone wants to speak on the topic? Is there anyone? Okay, so we'll be moving to.
One second. Hi, Dr. Jenkinson. Delighted to hear you speak. Also because I have heard Raman sir talk so much about the coastline expedition.
Yes.
So really glad to hear you speak, and your initiative is just wonderful. Now we'll have to just push Raman sir to probably start this in some area in Delhi, maybe in the college or some adjoining area. But I have a small query. So you've been an environmentalist. You've been on the coastline expedition. How much of this initiative was possibly driven by your experiences during the expedition? Or would you say that this is a result of your stay in UK and the economy and the lifestyle there?
As I am a through and through geographer, I, even from the early stages in my life when I was in school, very much interested in the environment. My father was also very interested in that. And as Ram would say, we would always talk about environment and how, protect the environment. So it's all, being a geographer, it comes from there. And when I came to Britain, I was very young and I hadn't heard of Orinoco. It was somebody who met me at some meeting or somewhere in the city, and they said, "We got this project. We heard about your name. Could you come for a management committee meeting?" I went there, and they said, asked me to come and help out. So I started volunteering, and then then we start to rewrite our constitution. And in Britain, the charities are very strictly monitored. Every year we have to submit your report with your with your budget and with all your expenditure, your financial report, to the Charities Commission. And if it violates, then you get barred from being a charity and barred from being a director or a trustee. So I started working with that, and then it became more and more important that we have to look after our environment. And Orinoco is something, it's been there 25 years ago. It was like, now it's 27 years ago, and it was ahead of its time then, and they had the same concept. We haven't changed our concept at all, in spite of what people are talking now. So we are one of the early environmental charities in Oxfordshire, and there are other scrap stores in the country, like 20 odd of us. They all started similar time with the same kind of idea, and we wanted to carry it on. And my expedition going along the coast gave me a really good insight about what India is like, what we Indians are. And we do have a concept of caring for each other in India. We do have that concept. We do have the concept of looking after each other. I remember that my mother giving clothes to the person who would come and do washing for us, do the dishes. She would give them food. She would give them our old books to the children, my people who worked in the house, to the children. So India has this tradition. What we need to do is now make it, because we started progressing so fast since the opening of the economy, that we have gone very quickly in terms of time, and we going towards the consumption and consumerism a lot. And for every party, what the Western fashionistas have been doing, changing clothes, and you don't want to wear it again, or you don't want to be seen in the same thing. So it started that. But now people are thinking, because pandemic, people are sitting back at home, and they're reevaluating their life and thinking about the environment. You know how wonderful photos have come from India. My friends like Dr. Tejveer will show in a WhatsApp group. Beautiful pictures of Delhi, blue sky, which I used to see it when I was a child. And it's so sad that you guys, you young people, have never seen such a wonderful blue sky in your life, which is missing in your life. Delhi had very good air quality, but in the past 10, 15 years, so we have to change our lifestyle. We have to do something more concrete. And it's in your hands. You're the young generation. You're the generation who can change. You're the generation who can bring us back to the back to basic things and in touch with the environment. Is very, very important. And you guys can start in the college. You can do, okay, bring some clothes and we can swap, and then you can find people who would need it and give it to them. And things that you don't want to use, a handbag or a pair of shoes, you don't want to use it. So try something in your college first and see what you can come up with.
Very true, Dr. Jenkinson. Probably in our bid to move ahead, what we mistakenly understand as progress and development, we've forgotten our own roots. Because especially our mothers and grandmothers, I would say women have always been very prone to recycle and reuse.
Absolutely.
They've never been into the habit of wasting resources, but everything is changing and changing very fast, as you correctly pointed out. So probably we need to step back a little, revisit our roots, learn from our grandmothers, and then move ahead.
Yeah, like my mother, if her sari had a big hole in it, what she would say, okay, I'll make your shalwar kameez with it.
Wow.
So me and my two sisters and myself will end up with the same kind of shalwar kameez in the house. Or
Now,
similar tops but different designs. It didn't matter.
yeah. True. Today, two sisters may fight over the same design. They would be like, we don't want to come out wearing the same clothes.
No, my sister. Now we don't do that because we are all different shapes and sizes. But when we were growing up, we always had. Raman will tell you he has known me since I was 17 years old. So this is how long we have known each other for.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering my question and also shedding light on some very minute aspects of progress, development that we've forgotten. The fact that we've forgotten our own roots, our own heritage, our own tradition, and the fact that there's no going ahead if we waste resources like this.
No, it's limited. The resources are limited. If you look at what really brought me home was the picture of Earth from the moon, the blue planet, and that really made me think that is such a beautiful planet, blue planet. And what do? We fight on the basis of religion. We fight on the basis of money, the resources. The whole world, you can see how Democratic Republic of Congo is the richest country in the world, and how much violence is happening there. Not only against the tribes, against women. Is absolutely inexcusable. I can remember that, Raman, and when we were in school, we always dreamt of a wonderful world going ahead, not going backwards, not thinking about civil wars. We always thought we'll be moving ahead. It will be a better environment, better society for our next generation to come, and think about other people. I must emphasize, you young people can make a change. Go beyond religion, go beyond caste, go beyond all that. We are human beings, and it is only one planet that is inhabitable. You have to look after it. It's very, very important. And that's how I live. I am Indian. I have faced sometimes I have faced racism a bit, but I am still, people don't believe that I am Indian. I wear Indian clothes in summer. I never hesitate to do that. My husband is English, but Raman can tell you I eat Indian food. I have Indian culture. I follow Indian tradition. I'm from Hyderabad, so I follow Hyderabadi culture to the core, because that's my identity. I'm Indian first. I'm a human being first. Forget about my religion. I'm an Indian. I I'm ambassador for India. I am there to tell people the good things about Indian culture, and also the kind of society I have come from. It's very important to me.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Dr. 𝗧𝗵𝗲𝗧. And it was great listening to you, and also the pictures you showed in the presentation. It was really delightful. And the words you just said now, it was really motivating for us, the young generation. And I would like to thank everyone who joined us today. And it was really great listening to you. And now I'd like to request 𝗤𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧 𝗃𝗿𝗄𝗃, student member of Harithkram, to deliver the final vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. I'm 𝗤𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧 𝗃𝗿𝗄𝗃, and I'm here to present the vote of thanks for today's Green Chats. I would like to thank today's guest speaker, Dr. Zohra, the trustee of Orinoco, for enlightening us with their knowledge. Today's session was full of knowledge and interesting things. It gave deep insights into the theme Save Planet Earth, Reuse and Recycle, and also revealed some very interesting facts. Thank you so much, ma'am. And
You're welcome.
I would also like to thank Raman sir, Mita ma'am, Jyoti ma'am, Shikha ma'am, and Komal ma'am for being a constant source of guidance and inspiration for all of our endeavors here at Harithkram. Also, thank you to all the audience for their patient listening. Last but not the least, thank you to all my fellow mates at Harithkram. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Vani. I would also like to announce that week 33 Cockatoo session will be held on April 16 on the theme Methane as a Future Fuel from Greenhouse to Green Energy. And also under the along celebration of biodiversity, Harithkram invites everyone to a talk on conservation of Madras hedgehog by Dr. 𝗤𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧 on Sunday, April 25 at 5 p.m. I would like to conclude with the same message that we always say: our stories may be similar, but our destiny is shared. Let us all come together and work for a reason greater than any of us. With this, we come to the end of today's session, wishing everyone a very good evening. Hope to see you hope to see you on the next Cockatoo session at the same time and the same platform. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Analya. I'll request Pratyush not to switch off immediately. And
we can have a little chat.
yes, the reason is that I got on the chat box, I just saw that it has been written, talk a little about the coastline expedition. And I think none better than Zohra herself who can really say something as to what we really did, what we planned and how we went about it. I think you are the best person to speak out. I always keep doing it with my students and keep really making them feel that, no, you're not too young. You can still do a lot.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
You can take it up. And maybe just as a school pass out, whatever we did, I think you're the best person to speak it out. So let's have that informal, but you can just say some few lines first.
Okay. We all finished the school and joined the university, and that year, immediately in say August, there was a strike, university strike, and the university was closed. And we thought, what shall we do? So I had this idea and said, come on, let's do a walk along the coast of India. And I asked my classmates, Raman and others, and they said, okay, it'll be a good idea. So what I did was I looked at the length of the coast of India, then all the states, and I sat down. In those days, we didn't have internet. We had to actually sit and get encyclopedia down and other magazines to get all the information we needed. And luckily, my father was a senior civil servant and a journalist.
We didn't have the internet. You miss it, or you are thankful?
I'm thankful that time because it made us more try to find ways of finding information, and also it helped us these days, people don't have the art of conversation, because you'll see people sitting on a dining table and everybody's looking at their phone, so that you don't have any communication with each other. But that time, we used to have actual conversation with each other, meaningful conversation with philosophical ideas. So I said, I came up with this idea, and Raman and others said, yeah, it'll be a good idea. Then I spoke to my father, and my father said, well, you can do it, you can, but you'll have to have a plan. And then we found one of my friend's father was in Air Force, and he could help us with the maps. So we got her father to help us with the idea that which places can we go to, how can we start, where can we start from. So we then we looked at how long can we walk. So first of all, some of us had never been to the coastline. I had never seen the sea in my life. So we thought the best possible solution is that let's try and practice every Sunday along River Yamuna. So every Sunday we used to practice with the bag and food and all that.
This was a second choice. The first was to cross the Indian desert.
Oh, yeah.
Came second as a choice.
Yes, that's right. And
thought of crossing the Indian desert.
But then it was very difficult because of the logistics of it. So we thought coastline is better. We know that when you start, so we'll start from the westernmost coastal point, which is 𝗥𝗲𝗃. And my father's friends, they were very helpful. Another person who has helped us shape our lives is Mr. 𝗥𝗲𝗂𝘀𝗀. He used to be the Director General of ITBP, Tibetan Police Force, and also he's the son of 𝗘𝗿𝗁𝗀𝗀, who was the education minister then, and who was Indira Gandhi's mommy. So we went to her and said, I said to her, Dadi, can you help me? And she said, all right. She was education minister, so she gave us some money. So we got 15 rupees per person for every day for whatever trip we had. So we got this money. Then we went to speak to the railway minister, Jafar Sharif, who was from the same state as Karnataka. And he knew my grandfather for a long time ago. So Raman and we went to meet the minister, and he gave us free railway passes so that we could go for a trip. And then we met Mrs. Gandhi, and she said, okay, I'll give you some money from Prime Minister's special fund. So with that, those days it wasn't very expensive. So we were able to do all that. And then a lot of people in All India Radio, television, ministries, they all got together and they said, okay, you can go there and we'll organize your stay. And the main thing was for us to plan our route. So we planned that we could only do about 20 to 25 kilometers a day. So sometimes we did 27 kilometers, sometimes we did 25 kilometers. And we were very lucky because of 𝗥𝗲𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀 uncle. We were able to get police help. So we could put all our heavy stuff in the one police jeep, and the jeep will go there and drop everything for our stay in the government guest houses or in a school building or panchayat building, wherever we were going to stay. And the communities around there would feed us. We were 10, 11 students, children. We were barely 18, Raman, weren't we?
Yes, and I know that the villagers used to get informed through All India Radio.
Yeah, they would, and they would come and interview us and talk to us. The children will come. And another thing what I did was, because those days there wasn't enough flow of information, so I went to the tourism department, and we collected boxes and boxes of pamphlets for all of India, for different states of India. And then we sat down and we made little packs. So when we go to every village we stay in there, we will give them a pack of those leaflets, so that the children can see how big India is, cultures from different India, because that time no internet, so therefore or not many people would have had access to magazines or newspapers. So that was one of the aims. And the other thing was drug controller's office. My father's friend, the drug controller in Delhi, they would give us huge boxes of medicine. So we would, we would give some of bandages and some of the basic things like plasters and Dettol bottles to the school as a little gift to them for having us. We did a comprehensive plan from where we went, and we knew when the river was, we'll have to cross the river, how we're going to cross the river. So you would do different segments. So we planned our first segment was from Lakhpat to, was it Surat? 𝗣𝗹𝗏. Yeah, in 𝗥𝗲𝗂𝗏. And we would write the plan for every day, so we knew exactly our destinations. And on our way, we would look at the coastline, we look at the quality of pollution, we look at the soil. So we collected soil samples, we collected any data, we wrote down records of what we saw, what people
temperature information. I remember taking weather information and temperature from different levels, from the air, soil, water.
Yes, and we did all, so we did all that, and we put our, unfortunately, my diary has gone missing. So, and Raman has got the only diary he's got, and I've got some writing. We hopefully, when I have time, we'll put our stuff together. So we didn't have to worry about food. People were very welcoming, and people were very, very friendly. That's what real India is. Real India is very, welcoming to people. They welcome everybody in their houses. So we learned a lot. Our understanding of the world as a geographer is come because of that expedition we did.
I'm thankful to Komal who has started this. She wanted me to like an informal session on this.
I still have one more question, Dr. Zoda.
Yes.
I've been pestering Raman sir about it, and I don't get an answer from him. So I thought none better than you to answer this. When are you planning to complete the last leg of the expedition, or are you?
We would love to. It's just this family circumstances have been such that we haven't. But hopefully, we should plan and do it. And
expedition, by staying in a lockup, we don't end up the last day.
That's true.
Planning getting onto a lockup.
Yeah, and he had to lock it. He had to lock the door, and we said why? Because it's the rule that you can't. It was great in Lakhpat. Just amazing, amazing person. The BSF officer is just absolutely wonderful. We met a lot of amazing people on our trip.
I hope all this pandemic gets over and we are able to really plan out and do that.
Yeah, let's do that and get sponsorship. It's better you guys, young people, go and get sponsorship from different companies. We got Coca-Cola to sponsor us for our shoes, and we got those. Do you remember Raman? 𝗥𝗲𝗂𝗆's friends.
We got the rucksacks also sponsored. We got the rucksacks given.
Rucksacks sponsored, and somebody gave us CDs.
CDs, cassettes.
Yeah.
Films, Akfa rolled the films that we got.
Yeah.
We got a lot of things. In kind, we got a lot of support.
Yeah, so you guys should do that and get, nowadays we can get.
Today, they don't require it. They have their mobile phones by which they can click as many pictures they want.
Yeah, but we
can record information as much they want. We used to have a separate voice recorder, separate camera, pictures, so many things.
Yeah.
And I think so now the technology is so fast that.
Absolutely. And but we can get sponsorship for staying and for
Travel.
That's what the young people need to do that.
The travel and stay. That's what you
Yes, that's what you need. Nothing else. And good quality. Now we'll have good quality shoes as well. That time we got those shoes that would get wet, and our feet will we'll have sore feet. You remember once we walked 30
but I
kilometers.
remember all the 12 of us could get hunter shoes, but your feet size was small and you could not get a hunter.
No, I got that blue one with the lace-ups, and we walked 30 kilometers the third day, and with 3 biscuits and a bottle of water.
Yes, you have reduced it. It was 4 biscuits and a glass of water.
Oh, 4 biscuits and I forgot. You remember better.
For 30 kilometers, true.
Yes. But we enjoyed it. Remember in 𝗧𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗏 temple, we cooked. Sarita was cooking, and the other thing was we didn't know how to cook. All of us.
And that dargah where we got the sweet rice.
Sweet rice and the dargah. And then we went to Somnath temple, and I didn't go in, and the priest said, everybody has gone in. Vidya, why aren't you going in? So I said, it says Muslims are not allowed in. So I stood outside, but he said, no, you can go in. And I went in. So it was really nice. So I've been to Somnath temple.
Also, Raman sir's first experience of eating fish along the coast of Kerala.
Yes, absolutely. Fish. 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗏, he gave us, he was a fisherman. And we also took guides from time to time. Somebody would like to join us.
Isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
We roasted the pomfrets.
Yes, roasted. Yeah. The worst thing for me was, for us, one place we were staying, there was no toilet. We had to go in the open. That was scary. That was really scary. And then, we had to take turns. We were 3 girls in the team, Sarita and Shiva. So we had to make sure, ask the girls, say, let's go together. And then we had to ask boys. So we didn't trust anybody. So we trusted Raman. Yeah, that was very interesting. Yeah.
Back in those days, Dr. Zohra, very limited resources, no internet. But yes, of course, the warmth and the trust that you had between yourselves, and the trust that you could repose in strangers. Today, we have possibly all sorts of resources that we can think of. Sponsorship, accessibility, everything is easy. So I just hope today's meeting and today's talk gives everyone the necessary push, especially sir and you, to just complete the last leg as soon as we are out of this pandemic.
Yes, we will absolutely. We will do that as soon as we can do it, and I'm allowed to come. The sad thing is that we can't go, especially now, until December. I can't see anything happening. So hopefully, if you're still around, let's plan for next year.
Whenever I keep sharing it to my students and others, to whomsoever I can get in touch, and when I'm having any type of a small nature walk or an expedition or a small field trip, COSTEX always comes into my mind. And when we keep discussing, the only question I keep getting is, sir, when is the last leg? Are you going to complete it? We'd like to join.
Yeah, we should.
Because something which remains incomplete, we all should have, in a way that we can say that, yes, COSTEX got completed.
Yes, we have to do that. Absolutely. I would love to do that. And let's do it as a team. And let's have you young people lead us. We will be your advisor.
They'll all join. They can actually do that.
Yeah. And you create what you want to study. You create what you want to look for. Have few ideas what you're looking for, and then you can put it in a nice. These days, you can even have a blog for it.
True, a lot of ideas can come in. And they can
we can do a daily blog. What we did, it'll be wonderful. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing that what we can do now. It will be so easy to do the plan, the route. And we remember we did a press conference as well in Delhi. It was reported in all the papers before we started.
I do have a lot of
Newspaper
cuttings, newspaper cuttings on that.
It was amazing that
And
press
that was
conference
done.
we did.
I think so. That was done in the Express building, outside the Express building that we had that.
Yes.
And what about Narayan uncle giving free food in UNI?
Oh yes, we got free food.
Paying only 40 paise for a vada and a coffee at All India Radio.
Yeah.
All time of a different.
And we used to sit and plan every day. We had to write our whole trip plan day by day. How many miles are we going to? How many kilometers we're going to walk, and what are we going to do? Where are we going to stay? So we had to have a whole plan for one whole segment each time.
And everything handwritten.
Yes.
And all typed with a manual typewriter by Zora's dad and a manual typewriter at my place.
Yeah.
To keep on typing it out. And then any corrections, all that has to be repeated. So.
And then we had to trace the maps ourselves. We couldn't even buy those maps. Remember, we didn't have money. We didn't want to buy it. So we traced our map just for the coastal strip.
I don't know how much of this may be remembered by Mary and Anju. They are there.
Mary might remember. She's there.
She's there.
Yeah, she was very little, wasn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she was very little.
Coastex much.
Yeah, she was little. She must have been in standard 7 or 8. No, 6. She's just joined the secondary school. I remember that. Yeah. So maybe we can ask her in the chat. Does she remember? Does she remember? Are you there? Little sister, can you type in if you remember anything?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, but you'll be surprised. Your students will be surprised. My sister is she's advertising manager for India Today publications for whole of North India. So if you want a woman's, world and how she has worked in that environment, you can ask her to give you a talk. She'll be good at it.
I really thank Dr. Komal for getting this informal talk also done, and maybe soon we may be able to plan out the last leg of Coastex. And really,
we should.
Very much thankful to you, Zora, for this interaction.
My pleasure. I love it. Yeah, if we can always have a chat like that, informal chat from time to time.
And we generally, we'll keep you informed regularly, mostly every alternate Fridays. It's generally on a Friday at 4:30. We meet for this green chat, and we just keep on taking new issues. So we'll surely like you to give your feedback. And if you have anyone in mind who can speak on any issue on environment,
yes,
who can share their words with our students, we'll surely will like that.
Absolutely. If I can get a chance, I can try and see when one of the volunteers for Orinoco who can give a little bit of time.
Sure.
I will ask them. Yeah. Then you can get another perspective to it. Or when we do things, I will do a little film for you guys so you can see what we do when we are in action.
That will also be nice.
I will do that. We've been on radio and television, local television, about our work from time to time. Yeah, and but
any of the participants who would like to ask anything, or thanks to Dr. Komal for this informal talk also that we had in today's session. If anyone else want to say something.
Just come out and say it. I used to be shy like you guys. Say whatever you think is good.
Analya,
Yes, sir. So I actually wanted to talk, and ask or know more about it. I was thinking that I would ask Raman sir in tomorrow's class. I was actually planning about that. Okay, I wanted to know how, after you're being brought up in that you already told that your husband is an English person, so that's why maybe I concluded with that. Okay, fine. So, I
No, I was brought up with very strong feelings of my own heritage and to be proud of what I am every time. I'm not a very big person, I'm quite short, but even then, my father said, "You got to be proud of what you are. You, you're lucky that you've had very good education, very good background." And when I left India that time, it was nearly 30 years ago. There was no mobile phone, no internet, uh, there was no credit card. So I came to England uh, by myself and I established myself and I learned everything what I've done by myself. And it's a credit to my parents that how they taught me to have faith in me and to do the right thing. My parents never questioned me what we did. I was so naive that Raman sir will tell you, they made a joke with me and they said, "Oh, after 10 o'clock, the buses don't go into Janakpuri." I believed it. I was so naive. I just would believe anything everybody would say, you see. But I've established myself and I'm very uh, well-known person in Oxford City, and people contact me, and I've supported a lot of people. I'm also very passionate about women's issues. I am absolutely, I am for gender equality. That's why I headed the Oxfordshire Women's Aid for 10 years as a chairperson of the management committee and ran the whole thing, which was very, very close to my heart. Uh, in Britain, you might think Western society and there's no domestic violence, but there is domestic violence in any society you have, and there is gender inequality here as well in Britain. And I have had so much experience of what women go through in this world. And I'm very lucky that I was able to support all these women. So it makes me so happy when I go on the street and somebody comes to me and say, "Do you remember Zora? You helped me with this." Because I would help, but then I'll forget it. Because that's how one has to do with domestic violence. You don't need to bring that up, but it's an ongoing thing, and I helped lots of women through their difficult times. Yeah.
And I also think that, when Raman sir had told about this field survey in the class, also I told at my home that it was a woman who headed this expedition or whatever. So I was thinking that at that time when there were no resources, there were, I think, 3 to 4 people in your group or 3 women in your group, and it was great that you people volunteered. I mean, started this expedition that too led by a woman at the time when there were hardly anything. So today also, like, there are many women travelers who do solo traveling, and also at that time such a solo trip, I would say, it was great. I mean, to take